Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
All right, let me throw out one metric. I guess I kind of got to do this. The global sportswear market size, valued at nearly $413 billion in 2022, estimated to reach nearly $749 billion by 2031. And listen, there's a lot of players in it, and looking to take a share of it is a partnership by our next two guests, both with brands that are very well known, now with a combined brand known as Greatness Wins.
So let's get to the interview. With Moore joining us here in the studio, the founder of UNTUCKit, who came up with the idea for his casual shirts while working at GE Healthcare. Chris Riccobono back with us. Also with us, Hall of Fame shortstop and 5-time World Series champion with the New York Yankees. Also an e-commerce investor too, Derek Jeter, both here in the Bloomberg Business Week studio. Okay, guys, first up, we want to know how you guys got together. How did this come together? Who called who? Who had the idea for who to get involved? How did it come about?
That's a good question. You start. We'll see what version comes out. Go ahead.
I was going to say Derek reached out to me, but that's not how it worked. So over the pandemic, I was looking to solve another problem in the fashion industry, and I thought about athletic apparel. And it didn't exist for me, something that had a great fit, but also had performance first in mind. So I came up with this concept and this idea, but now I wanted a few athletes behind me. And at the time, I think Derek might have still had a contract with Nike, or it was winding down, and I didn't think that I could get to him or that he'd be interested. But after a year of bothering him and his agents, he actually called me and said, "Chris, I'm just not that interested and excited in this." But I said, he can't get off the phone, Derek. How can I get you excited? So we talked for a while after that, and we kind of came together with both of our visions. You know, I'm the apparel guy. That's the way I think about it. Derek's was a successful entrepreneur, but also very successful as, you know, a Nike guy.
Yeah.
So I knew that he had a lot of insight that I didn't have, and he shared it with me, and we launched the brand about a year and a half ago, and we're having great success.
Okay, you weren't excited, and then you became excited. How'd that happen? How'd you make that turn?
Well, I think, you know, first and foremost, getting to know Chris, we talked about the idea. I've had relationships with athletic brands throughout my career, and great relationships, and I still do today.
Right.
And, you know, when I was first speaking to Chris, I was like, well, first of all, you know, this is a crowded space. It's not as easy to attack this space, and it's going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of energy. And I wouldn't say I wasn't excited, but when I do something, I'm all in. And if I'm not all in, I'm just not going to do it. And at that point, when we were having the discussion, I said, you know, I don't think now is the time. And then we actually got together. We had a chance to look and feel and touch the product, and that started getting me very, very excited about it. So I guess that's the best way to put it in our short period of time.
You do, though, Derek, probably get a lot of investment pitches, not just in the apparel world, but no question, from lots of different entrepreneurs who want your involvement. What was it specifically about this one with Chris, with UNTUCKit, that really caught your eye?
I think you got to get to know the people, any business that you're in. It's the same thing when you're on a team, on the field. You have to have the right people on your side.
Or a co-anchor.
Exactly. I was going to say that, but you didn't give me enough time to say it. And, you know, I just found Chris to be very, very passionate about it. You can't fake passion. You either are or you aren't. And, you know, even when I told him that I wasn't interested, he kept calling, and we kept having the conversation. And I knew if you're going to be successful, you need those types of people on your side.
I always think about that. I remember talking to a top M&A banker, and he's like, the only way you get deals done is the CEOs have to like each other, and that's how you get things come to the table. Would you say no to a great deal because you didn't like somebody?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you end up working a lot. It's funny. When Derek said that he wanted to be more involved, and when he goes all in, I was thinking he was just doing that as an equity play to get some more equity, not that he actually wanted to be. And Derek's like that. I mean, he wants to talk about everything, every decision.
And you want somebody who's really
I want
involved.
something that, yes, because I don't know everything, and I definitely don't know everything in the athletic apparel space. So it's been a really...
This is recorded, right? I'm going to play that back to him when we go. We're going to play that back.
You can do that. You can loop it. You can loop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the same thing for you. I mean, Derek, when you get involved in something, how... You know, we asked about what made this interesting, but in general, how involved do you want to be? I mean, how much do you have to love the brand that you hook up with?
You have to be involved. I mean, otherwise you're just giving your money and you're hoping someone else runs with it and makes you more. But when you're passionate about something, when you put in the time, you put in the effort. I think the best thing to say about us is we disagree probably more than we agree. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want people that always think the same as you. Otherwise, you're never going to make improvements. You're never going to make progress.
Is it hard to say no to Derek, though? We just talked with we're author of a leadership book, and they talked about CEOs who, once they get to the top, they surround themselves with people who don't say no.
Listen, I rolled the dice right from the beginning, and we went after each other a little bit. But like you said, it's the best way to go about it. Like, you want to leave at the end of the day and have people go against your views, because if they're agreeing with you, you're not going to always do the right thing. So I thought that was a great. I wondered if he was going to want to continue the relationship a few times, but it really came together, and now we're on the same page, and things are going really well for us.
Well, I do wonder, when does it get a little tricky? Like any partnership, whether it's a marriage, whether it's working relationships, whether it's business relationships, there's always tough times. What are some of those tough times?
I don't know why you're looking at me.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys just keep going. You answer that question. I don't know how.
No, but I really do feel like a little bit of debate or a little bit of arguing like gets you to a better place.
I think it does. You have to have a difference of opinion, like I said.
I do like you, Tim. Sorry, go ahead.
Otherwise, like I said, you're not going to make any progress moving forward. And we disagree more than we agree, but we do it respectfully. And there are some things that I know he's an expert. It's impossible to be an expert at everything, right? You surround your people that are much more intelligent in different fields. And Chris obviously has a lot of experience in the retail space, especially. I have experience when it comes to athletic brands. So it's okay for us to disagree.
So Chris, let's go there, because this is a really crowded space. You mentioned Nike, but I mean, if you think about upstarts like Vuori, Rhone, then there are the big players like Nike, Adidas, and the like. How do you carve out a place for you specifically?
Yeah. So it's funny, just like with UNTUCKit, I really needed this product. And you might ask why. There's plenty of athletic brands and athleisure brands. For me, the athletic brands that existed, the quality wasn't there, the consistency of fit wasn't there. They were designed for performance, but they didn't have that modern fit. The athleisure brands have an incredible fit, very high quality fabrics, but not designed with performance first in mind. So I wanted a really high-end athletic brand that had a great fit, but also was meant to work out and would withstand being washed, not pilling. Yeah. Something that all athletes, not just professional athletes, could use all the time. And it's not inexpensive, so you want it to last for a long time. And I think that's where we are differentiate from these other brands. We're not athleisure, we're not athletic. We're kind of a blend of both. That makes sense.
I've got yoga pants on that are pilling a little bit, so I totally get you. What's the growth trajectory? Tell me what we can. We're Bloomberg. We love numbers. You know that. What's the growth on this?
Well, we need you to go buy some pants. You just said that they're pilling. So
I'll get right on it.
We need you to help us out. But I think for us, I'll let Chris follow up on it. I think what we want to show as a brand, this is only our second year, we want to show progress.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're building a company, a startup company, you want success right away. But you understand, you're a startup company for, I think they say 10 years. I mean, it's a long, long time. So we want to show some steady progression. I'll let Chris get into the numbers.
Yeah, so will it be 10 years before you really feel like it's there?
No.
Depends on how much you buy.
Okay.
No, I mean, there's so much competition. You want to just stay relevant. You want to make a great product. That's the first thing. You got to make a great product. You need your repeats to be there, which they are for us. The other thing that's really exciting with us is not just, you have the e-com, then eventually stores, which is what I did with UNTUCKit.
Right.
We have a great wholesale business we're building at Greatness Wins. We have a golf business. We'll be in 80 clubs. We were in 80 clubs this spring. We have a bookstore business. Derek just wore a Michigan sweatshirt on as honorary captain of Michigan this weekend. We have a new dance relationship with Misty Copeland, who's our women's founder. I was going to say, you need women
who do a little bit of shopping.
Yeah, so we have something we'll be announcing soon that's exciting. So I'm very happy with where they are. People love the product, they love the quality, and we're just getting going, but very excited for the future.
All right, we're going to just shift a little bit, because I am curious, Derek, are you looking for any other investments, in sports, beyond baseball, or maybe a MLB team or anything?
No, I've been down that path. No, I'm going to take a break from that. I spent a lot of time with my 4 kids who are 7 and under, so it's a full-time job, especially when you're talking about Major League Baseball ownership. So at this particular point, I think I have my hands full.
So yeah.
Well, when you say take a break, are you ruling it out for the future, or do you want to get back into ownership?
I learned a long time ago, never say never.
Yeah.
Because you never know. I just said it 3 times in a row, but you don't know where the future is going to lead you. But at this particular point, no.
I do also wonder, the two of you, like when you think about either athleisure or athletic apparel, companies that you look at that you admire, or leaders you admire. Let me ask you, Chris, first. Like, is there somebody that you look at and say, that's who I kind of get some cues from, or?
I mean, we always talk about Nike and the Jordan brand. Those are the greatest, probably the greatest brand maybe ever. So while, you want to be them, but if you're half of what they become, you're very successful. And I think the athleisure brands are great too. I mean, I won't name them because, but I think there's a lot of great brands these days. So we're just trying to differentiate, give a reason, why you might need our product versus those products, and hopefully it works.
Leader, you look at? You're smiling. Why are you smiling?
There's a lot. It's one that comes to mind. He said Jordan Brand. MJ's been like a big brother to me, and I think I have young kids now, and you want them to choose their career path and find someone that they can look up to.
Yeah.
You want them to see someone who's been successful, and you talk about Michael and what he was able to accomplish on the basketball court, but I think you look at athletes post-playing career, he's up there at the top with what he's been able to accomplish from a business standpoint. So he's someone that I look to and go to for advice.
All right, you're gonna go there?
You go.
World Series.
Baseball.
I know. I have to do this. All right. So you're going to be in the booth, right?
I am. Fox? Yes. Yeah.
Who do you? Can you think about who might be there?
I don't know. It depends. I'm not trying to skirt the question. I'm really not. But a lot of it is matchups.
Okay.
And we'll know in a couple of weeks because some teams. I know during my career, I used to play Anaheim Angels all the time. We just couldn't beat them. And finally we broke through and we were able to win in 2009. But it all comes down to matchups. So there's some good teams out there.
Chris, you talk baseball, and I'm curious what you might think for the World Series.
Chris knows nothing about baseball.
Are you serious?
No.
I don't bother.
Do you really not?
I do know baseball. I'm a fan. I don't.
And
bother,
you did a deal together?
I don't bother Derek with it. But I'm a Yankees fan. We'll see. They don't seem to be able to perform in the playoffs for the last 15 years now.
We'll discuss it on Fox.
Hey, listen, guys, got about 40 seconds left here, real quickly. In I don't know, a year from now, what's the conversation around your company?
I think we'll start to look at stores. I mean, I love stores. Not many people do in retail. We have 90 of them at UNTUCKit, and we're opening more. I think it's really important for the male shoppers, so I think we'll look at that, and we'll look at continued growth in these different areas that we discussed, bookstores, golf, e-commerce. So it's very exciting.
Same thing for you, Derek. In terms of Greatness Wins, in a year from now, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, I think it's all awareness. You want people to be aware. You want to walk around the streets and see people wearing it. And I'm very confident in the fact that someone buys our product and they wear it, they'll be happy with it and they'll return as a customer.
And no pilling, you promise?
Well, you got to tell me.
Okay. I'll try. Derek Jeter, of course. Chris Riccobono. You guys got me flummoxed.